Dear listeners, thank you for checking out The Heated Table. While this is the podcast version of the episode, this episode is also available on our YouTube channel, The Heated Table. There you can see our reactions, fun visuals as we discuss each webtoon. Thanks for being here, and we hope you enjoyed it!
Hello. Wow. Welcome to The Heated Table. Wow. Brought to you by 3 of your 4 hosts. I'm Kash.
I'm May.
I'm Onion.
And May was not here last time.
Yes, I was not. But I'm really excited to be here. I was saying to Onion earlier that all of us have been reading webtoons for so long. We can't believe that we have not thought about actually discussing them together. So I'm excited to begin this journey with y'all.
It's true. We're all excited today for the table to get heated. We're back at it again with very delectable dishes. Never ending, darling. Back to you and your throne. Therefore, this episode is never ending back to your throne. Yes. So starting with our yummy yum appetizer, which is absolutely to die for, Never Ending Darling. Author Woollee brings science fiction thriller vibes. It's technically a thriller. I think it's going to be really popular.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to be especially popular when spooky season comes around. People are going to jump on it. So we'll see what happens in like October. But anyway, main character Ha-im. She lives in a world where cloning is legal, accessible, and normalized, which I think is the creepiest. Her boyfriend of 5 years... Actually, he's the creepiest. But he's a brilliant scientist behind the technology of cloning. And Ha-im finds her body at her boyfriend's house. Not the one she's currently in, but like...
Her clone.
You know, her clone. Well, the next day she doesn't remember that, but she finds a note in her handwriting. If you don't remember writing this, that probably means I'm dead. Which is creepy. If you find a note that said that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I gotta go. Like, I don't know where, but I'm leaving. So we have characters, Gunhee-ji, who is basically Ha-im, the main character's fiance and murderous boyfriend. There's Ha-im, who is the main character, and she lives with her mom. I feel like that's the only person she really cares about. As well as her best friend of like 15 years, Young-ji, Officer Bae. She's a police officer. Which would you think would be really helpful, but it actually
really isn't.
Yeah.
There's so much power structure, hierarchy, corruption. When you look at the whole thing as like a pyramid, Officer Bae is definitely at the bottom. No power at all, which is very disheartening.
Yeah. And I think she's starting to seek help from Detective Gang-ho. I feel like he hasn't really done very much yet. Yet. Fingers crossed. I think we should start by describing it in one word.
Oh, okay. I think it's diabolical because everyone is evil. The man's evil.
Everyone is evil.
Okay, not everyone. But like the people in power, they're all evil. The guy is evil. The guy people who are backing him up are evil. I'll pause it here.
Did y'all see that scene where he has the bodies of... It was like...
Oh, yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk.
So like the high profile people, right?
Yeah.
He even made the deal with like the general, I think. He was like saying, oh, I would never get taken down because all these high profile people are all backing me up. Because if I go down, then they all go down.
Sounds like reality.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, big oof. Okay. May, what's your word?
Yeah, definitely not diabolical. Mine was more, I was thinking like morality or psychotic were the two words because it just seems like Gunhee, very, very emotionally abusive, very, I don't know, he's just, no, not a good person.
Yeah. I would say there's also like a lot of like bioethics. These hoes don't know the reference, but it is basically that movie where you live in a loop.
When I started reading it, you know, I just kind of jumped in. I didn't even know the premise. And I know like what you were talking about was basically the description that was written for the webtoon to entice people in. Yeah, I didn't even read that before reading it. When I started reading it, you're really hit with like morality right away. A lot of like Korean detective dramas that I've seen, you usually have the main character, protagonist, and then another supporting character who is helping the main character. But in this one, it's very different because you're not seeing that dual. It's her best friend. This is somebody who's been in her life for 15 years, right? 15-year friend versus like a 5-year like fiance boyfriend, you know?
Yeah.
So literally like childhood friend.
Both people who she should be able to trust.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you say that, I'm thinking that could be another theme for today's episode. Strong female protag.
Yep, protagonist.
And honestly, strong female roles for most of the stories. And good villains. They're good at being evil.
Evil.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Onion?
I think, you don't realize how much more you can hate a character, and then it's just like, I hate the man, and then it just progresses, seeing like how messed up he is in the head, how little he cares about human life. Remember how she was trying her wedding dress on?
Oh yeah.
And he was being so disrespectful to the worker. He's a freaking Karen. That's what he is. Karen on drugs. Karen
Psychopath.
Karen psychopath, okay?
Yeah.
So she was just like, you can't do that to the worker. Like, who do you think you are? And he goes, everyone leave the room. And so it's just him and her. And he goes, do you not love me anymore? Can you imagine if you have a significant other, you get in an argument and you're like, how could you do this? And your significant other goes, do you not love me anymore?
That is
and
manipulative.
He was gonna kill her.
Yeah.
Right? And then she gets stuff right, remember? And then they went to the arcade and she was getting a little more into the game and saying, oh, you're supposed to shoot their head. What are you doing? And then she gets like that slight, oh, was I too harsh on him? Is he gonna like kill me now? I would assume that it gets worse into the relationship because he's just like, I can perfect everything that you do. I just have to reset.
Yeah. Remember, I think Officer Bae, Youngji, was actually guiding him
For the day.
And then at the end, pretty sure that he killed her in the car.
That's what he did because he knew the whole time. I don't know. We don't know when, right? Because he just shot her out of the blue. And then he tells the Officer Bae, give me back the memory stick. I'm like, when did he find out? When was he faking all this?
Right.
And I like how they made him smart. You don't think that he would catch on? Because I thought she'd get scot-free, right? I thought they fooled him, this and that, but he knew.
And it was so funny to me, the date at least, because she actually had fun.
Right?
So I was like, it must have been supernatural then. If she's like, was I on a date with Younghee or was I hanging out with my bestie, Youngji?
Yeah.
And she ended up dying anyway.
Yeah.
There's a lot we can talk about, and I think there are a lot of different dynamics. First of all, if my partner had come up with a cloning technology that was, skyrocketing and it saved my mother's life,
Yeah.
I would feel some sort of type of way about that. Even just that this technology exists and he's in charge of it. Where is the threshold of, the threshold of reasons to kill her is like lowering? Would that be the right way to say it? Of like, you just pissed me off. Your face just,
He's like,
you rubbed me the wrong way.
It's almost
today.
like, like alcoholism, where he's building up a tolerance and an insensitivity to the treacherous act of murdering someone. Not only murdering someone, but murdering someone you love repeatedly.
That you say you love. I don't think he's capable of love.
No.
So in this world, cloning is natural and new technology. Praise all. In zombie movies, when the zombie apocalypse is about to hit and everyone's like, this is a miracle. It kind of feels like that. And yet they don't do anything with brain because that's not ethical, not moral. And they kind of cover that, except for him, because her boyfriend is in charge of this technology. So he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And we don't know how long it's been happening for. She just finds the notes. Now she has this knowledge and she has to pretend that she doesn't, which is creepy. Because she also doesn't know how long it's been going for. And her mother, I think she should have told her mom.
No, but her mom was like obsessed with the boyfriend though.
I know, but if I told my mom, hey mom, I know you really like him. I know he saved your life, but he's literally continuously murdering me and then just making references.
Do you think she'd believe her daughter?
I feel like she should.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting a little pissed off the way that her mom, praised...
Brushed her off too.
And brushed her off her own feelings in a way. Part of me wants to believe that she would believe her, but at the same time, she might be like, oh, you're crazy. Like, you're just...
Or it could be where she confronts the boyfriend, or the boyfriend somehow finds out her mom is involved and then he ends up killing the mom.
Well, the mom's already at risk. She's already in the hospital.
Yeah, remember he poisoned her mom? Like it's not
just so she would come back because she couldn't have surgery without familial permission. He's crazy. He's really scary.
We definitely can talk about the ethics of cloning. Yes, cloning is legal, but one thing that I was wondering about was, do people like just use cloning as a way to fix their current body, or are they like...
That's what I was kind of confused.
Yeah,
Replacing
are
the
they
body.
replacing the whole body? The whole memories thing only seems to be Ha'im, the experiment of like her and her memories almost. Are they just using these clones to replace their own body kind of thing, or are they, I don't know.
There's like a scene, streamers would like cut off their fingers.
Yeah.
But then like how would they're not regrowing, they're just cloning, right? Or like
Yeah.
when there's like a clone to have an athletic body, but then where do they clone their athletic body?
Oh yeah, like the cloning diet.
Yeah. I was just confused.
Yeah. I have no idea. But
Yeah, it
because they
would be-
can't do things with brains, I'm assuming they are replacing body parts.
Just body parts. It'd be nice if there was a little bit more like, clarification on
Yeah.
that part. But I mean, I understand that the story is about Ha'im and the fact that she's been dying repeatedly for we don't know how long yet.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the way that it was introduced? Right away, we figure out that she's a clone. Right? Or that she's being cloned without her consent. Would you have rather figured that out later, or would you have rather figured it out like right away, like how it's written?
I like how it's written.
You like
I also like how it's written. I feel like you kind of jump in the story, and I loved when she found the note. Chapter 3 is my favorite, and it's not because things weren't happening in chapter 1 and chapter 2, but chapter 3 you kind of actually learn what kind of character she is. It's a really interesting setup because normally you get to know a little bit more about the main character before you're tossed into the climax or the plot, the arc, you know, like anyway. But in this case, you're going on that with her, and then later on, you're like, this is how she's gonna handle it.
I like her mindset about this. She's not like she freaked out for a second,
and
but then
she's
she's
scared
just,
too.
yeah, and then she goes like right into I have to figure out
Like,
how
I'm
to
gonna
get out
stop
of
this. I'm gonna stop.
But also, like, what would you do? Because
Yeah.
you found out that, wait, previous versions of me have figured this out.
Yeah.
And are trying to help me. And yet I'm still in the situation where I don't remember any of it. Like when she went on that date and she had no idea and she saw that note, that was like, by the way, me, you, we died, but you don't remember any of that.
Ha'im should start journaling so that when she comes across it and opens it, she'll see her own handwriting and then be able to read the events of...
That's the thing, though. She's being monitored. I don't know how closely, but when she finds that note, we see Gong-hee watch her read that note.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw someone comment that was like, I think she has a chip in her. I was like, I
Yeah,
don't believe that.
microchipped. Oh my god, yeah.
Because you have so many replicas of her body. One, maybe it's a little bit wasteful, but like, why wouldn't you mess with the body? Put a chip in it.
Yeah. You know what I found surprising? Remember how after she shot Haim in the car, she told Bae that don't tell her what happened or else I'll kill you. Despite being threatened like that, she still told Haim. Like, try to tell Haim.
Oh, yeah. That was another thing, though, too. Because, so, Youngji, even initially, before they knew the murderous boyfriend piece, didn't want to have, like, her DNA stored to have a clone. So, if she dies, she's gone.
She's just that empty shell.
And actually, he even would warn her, was like, I could clone you, but you'd be empty because you wouldn't have, like, I've never stored your memories anywhere, which is creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, like, would you have your DNA so you could be cloned?
When I was reading that part, I was also like, okay, I kind of like how she chose not to. She's fully consented. I don't want
Even though
this
she's a
technology.
police officer.
Yeah, even though she's a police officer, she's fully consented. I don't want to be part of this technology. And that's good because it can't be like used against her, but also it's like her safety is also at risk too. So that's where I'm like, morality. Like what is this?
I don't think I'd want my brain replicated, right? Like a copy of it, because at this point, Haim is basically immortal. I wouldn't want that. I mean, especially the life she's living. Not only that, but her abusive serial killer boyfriend is also could be immortal.
Yeah, like why wouldn't he? If he can already clone bodies, he probably cloned like thousands of his bodies.
Yeah. Or, I mean, theoretically, couldn't you stick your memories into anybody?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Creepy.
If your friend's SO threatened to kill you, he threatened Bae, don't tell her or else I'll kill you.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you still tell your friend or would you be like, I gotta keep it to myself now?
That's another thing that I was thinking about though. Would he kill her? You know?
I think he would.
But if he killed her, there's no way to clone her. Is there?
would know.
And like people would know, her work would know she's no longer here. And you can't just make like an empty shell of her because it won't be able to function.
Well,
so would
I
that
feel
be
like-
considered actual murder?
But he can hide so many things.
I think
and
he
we've
wouldn't
kind
care.
of discovered the hierarchy and like, the power structures.
Yeah.
He could cover it up.
Oh, so irritating. But yeah, going back to your question, would you still tell your friend? I think I would.
I think I also would. I think my friends would trust me.
Oh yeah, I would trust you guys over my SL.
If we had like, I mean, we don't, but I think we will kind of soon, right? I don't know how many years we've been friends. I don't want to do math right now either. But okay, so like 15 years versus 5. You know,
that's
like
a lot.
that's a lot. I mean, I wouldn't want to believe it, but I would be like, okay, yeah. That's the thing where I was getting to of when Han picked up the phone and it was about the earring. She had no idea what her bestie was talking about, and yet played it off.
That's so
Oh
smart.
yeah, my earring. Except that's how he found out though, because he was like, there was a bloody earring, and I was gonna clean it up and return it to her.
What is our conclusions?
We figure out that her mom has been poisoned, right?
Yeah.
She rushes back home to...
Well, she rushes back home because her mom needs surgery, and there needs to be familial approval to get the surgery. So he did that on purpose, so she would be forced to come back from her hiding. So he gave Jungji, the police officer, the gun to shoot Haim to start over. That's messed up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to kill my besties. I'm super excited for the next chapter though.
Yeah,
so
I think
excited.
this webtoon is definitely going to take off. We'll start seeing a lot more people. It's definitely going to become it's going to become a dessert. It's going to become a dessert pretty soon.
And I also think the author Woollee had really good timing with when the story is going to come out. Like horror stories become really popular during like spooky season.
Yeah.
So as fall hits, it's going to increase a lot.
Very excited to come back and revisit this at a later point when
Yeah.
there's been more development. So
If you see a note in your handwriting that says something like "I'm dead" or like "You're dead," what would you do?
I think I would take it seriously, but I wouldn't know where to start. If I saw like I'm gonna die, I wish I would get mad. I'd be like, "What do you mean I want to die? Why don't you tell me more?"
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'd be confused at first.
I think knowing me, I think I would be more specific in my description. I don't think I would brush it off. I think I would like keep it in the back of my head, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't know how to like approach it in a way. I'd be very confused. I would hope that my past self would give me more information.
I think I'd be disappointed. I'd be like, "What the fuck, bro? Don't leave me like this."
Leave me hanging.
But a question for our viewers to answer and ask your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would you do in that situation?
Yeah. That was a great appetizer.
Yeah.
Should we move on to our next dish?
Entree.
Awesome. Okay, so our entree. Yummy yum. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again. It's back to you. An unexpected bus accident transports main character Hayoung 10 years into the past, the time when her first love was still alive. 10 years into the future, she still hasn't been able to move on from him. Not sure why. That's my opinion, though. And this could be the perfect opportunity to save his life. But can she change fate? Hayoung, who again is her main character, Unje, who is just some dude,
Who also gets transported back.
and who also
with
went to
her.
school with her.
Yeah, but she didn't know.
He's
But
an upperclassman.
Yeah.
but he was also transferred back in time with her.
And the bus driver, who's also transferred back. And they actually are kind of connected. Are about to find out if they can change fate or not, or if they want to test that. So, yeah. First question. If you could compare it to a dish, now an entree dish, what would you compare it to?
Bread.
Bread.
Entree?
That's your entree?
wait.
Like, that's not
Sandwich.
made
Let's go sandwich.
A sandwich.
Because a grilled cheese sandwich. Because it's like when it's fresh, it was interesting. I like was really into it, but then it was like laying out for a while. I kind of dropped it, and then bread turned stale. The cheese kind of got it's like a block. Okay. Yeah, that's yeah.
I was thinking something with this plain side. Like, okay, rice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rice is a little bit
Curry.
plain.
curry.
I guess curry would be a good one. Depending on the curry, it has the spicy moments. It has the good moments where it has the meat, you know, like the chicken or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it also has that rice, that plain rice to balance it out.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's like cheese. I definitely think it's more interesting than a grilled cheese sandwich.
No, it's not uninteresting. It's just
I know, but
grilled cheese are interesting. What do you mean?
okay, well, grilled cheese isn't really my favorite food.
That's not my favorite food.
I wouldn't
man.
call it an entree.
Do you agree?
No, I kind of disagree. I think I disagree with
What
that.
what is a grilled cheese sandwich? An appetizer? No.
No, I feel like a grilled cheese is a
Entree.
meal.
It is real? It isn't
It's a
real.
meal.
Oh, yeah.
It's of course it's real.
I don't know, y'all. Okay. I think that, like, to me, peanut butter and jelly, grilled cheese, those are considered
Those
like...
are meals.
Those are like snacks.
Yeah.
Those aren't like meals that you would eat for dinner. No. I would have it as like an afternoon snack after I come home from school.
No. No. Okay, I can agree with you, the peanut butter. But grilled cheese with the tomato sauce on the like side.
No, I agree with you. And I even agree on like the peanut butter jelly. Like I kind of agree with that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like I don't agree.
They're not on the same level.
Oh my god. Okay, what's your dish?
Yeah, I would say maybe like a chicken noodle soup. It's good. The art is good. You can tell the characters, they look different. However, I feel like there really isn't character growth. And there is, but at the same time, like we're talking about, okay, me now is very different than high school me.
Yeah.
True.
If I were to go back in time, yeah, I would do things differently, but I just feel like I would have more maturity, despite her like being what she's
Old.
like in her late 20s.
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, I just don't think the main character guy.
So Jaehyun.
Yeah, so she's in love with Jaehyun, and despite his death having been so many years ago, she can't get over him. But now that she knows him, I'm like, ooh, that's what the hype was about.
That was the one thing that I couldn't get to after rereading it. I just didn't like Jaehyun. I did not like his character at all. And then when she finally was just like kind of not over him, but like when she was finally distancing from her, I'm just like, yes, I'm a Unjae fan. I'm just like Unjae and Haeyeon get together.
I would say Eunjae is my favorite character, despite him not being the main character.
yeah,
But let's talk about the whole premise of going back 10 years.
yeah.
Because that's what drew me into this
What would you do if you
like,
went back
what
10
would you
years?
do if you...
I used to fantasize about that. I used to be so obsessed of going back to my high school years or college years. I was kind of being dramatic. I would cry every night. I'll pray to God. I'll be like, God, please.
Yeah, like please let me redo that shit over.
I used to read a lot of creepypasta, and there's a creepypasta of like, you know, Bloody Marys, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Except there's one with going back in time, where you have to go. It's like you have to be in a closet with the candlelight, and then after.
Did you try it?
No, I was kind of freaked out. But I was thinking about it. But then, like, after you do successfully go back where you want to, there's always, like, a downfall or, like, a negative to it if you actually perform these rituals, is that your life would be in danger.
That makes sense.
then I was
You like
just
messed with fate.
Yeah, so then I was thinking, like, it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But then I was just, like, being on the edge, being like, when am I going to die? What's going to happen
Do you
to
still
my life?
think about going back in time?
Here and there, I try to move forward, be like, it happened, and, like, I grew from this.
Okay, you go
know?
back in time 10 years. So subtract 10 years from your age. You're probably
12.
you're like
I'm a high school freshman.
Wait, you'd be 13.
Yeah, I'm 13. We're turning 13 this
We're in
year.
middle school.
You're still in middle school.
8th
We're
grade?
not freshmen.
Yeah, that's like 8th grade.
Somewhere
Say
around
8th
there.
grade. Okay,
Yeah.
8th grade.
2012, the world was supposed to end.
Oh,
So the world was supposed to end and it didn't. However, now 2022, you go back in time 10 years. What do you do?
I would invest in GME. I've been planning this out. I was going to invest in GME. I was going to start my streamer life way early.
Yeah.
Hop on that train real quick. You know how in your high school you were so worried, not worried, but you're like looking forward to college or looking forward to graduate? I would not have that feeling. I'd be
Yeah.
like, guys, college is a scam. After college is a scam.
Literally.
Like, this is your best life right now.
Yeah.
Take it now. Oh my gosh, yeah. And I was even thinking like relationships, because you have to redo your relationships without the other person knowing. Would your relationship develop differently now since you know the person and you know how your relationship's going to be? That's what I
Yeah,
was
you'd be
thinking
like,
too.
don't be friends with her. She's toxic.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Yeah.
But like one thing that back to you kind of just to bring it back to the
yeah.
Unjae's like don't try to change it.
Yeah.
Where it says Haeyoung is like
Would you try to change it?
That's kind of where the question's going.
Yeah.
Would you try to change it? And I think I would.
You would.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would you try to change the relationships or
I mean, she like changed her fit. She was like, I'm taking off my glasses. I'm trying to look cute. I'm gonna seduce this boy, which is creepy because she's older and she's like using these methods on like an underage kid. That's my opinion, though. Yeah, I kind of think I would. Maybe
I would 100%. If I find out I was back in time, I'd be like, I'm gonna hop on this train like right away.
That's the thing too, though. In this story, she didn't have an easy time doing it.
Oh,
It seemed like she believed that fate was against her. For example, she got stood up on the date with him. Right? They were going to the movies. She got the tickets. He stood her up. His phone ended up breaking. Stuff like that, where like it doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe my path has been written already.
Yeah.
Maybe this is fated to happen for him to like die, etc.
Yeah.
I kind of thought he was gonna die, or she was gonna die.
Yeah.
And even like her mom, like she needed surgery earlier on. Like things did change.
Yeah.
And I think it's fascinating. So I'm caught up though. Are you caught up?
I'm not caught up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm caught up.
Yeah, I'm not caught up. It's been a while since I read it, but I read up to season 1 ending, beginning of season 2. We're talking about it now, and it's almost over.
It's about
It's
to
about
end,
to
yeah.
end. My reflections on it so far, even though I haven't caught up, I kind of feel for Haeyoung just because, in a way, she's grieving. I think it's interesting that the Korean title is like The Girl I Know or something like that.
Yeah.
Really?
It translates to like Just a Girl I Know.
Interesting.
Versus the English title is Back to You, because in a way he really was just like a random girl in her class back then. Like she went back and tried to build a relationship.
And she did change his life.
Yeah.
For the better, because he
Yeah.
had a really toxic relationship with the other girl, right?
Yeah.
And he had a lot of trauma that he's working on because of her.
For me, like not reading ahead, like not having read where you guys are at yet.
Yeah.
I kind of feel for her because obviously this unrequited love relationship has been sort of traumatic for her.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy that she obviously liked a lot just suddenly passed away. So she hasn't seemed to fully grieve.
I mean, she was having nightmares.
Yeah, and having
when the
nightmares. So
story
she
started.
hadn't grieved from it yet. And then she's given this opportunity to go back and change it. I like fell for her because I'm like, I don't know. When I started reading Back to You, I also was in like an unrequited like
this
love
hits too close to
relationship.
home.
Yeah, so it really hit close to home. I was just like, dang, this girl, she has the opportunity to actually build a relationship.
You made your unrequited love work, though, without going back in time.
I know, I made it work without going back in time, but like he literally sat next to me and I didn't say anything to him. Okay, if this wasn't just a random guy, but if this was like a friend, if this was my grandma, or if this was somebody who I had like actually had a relationship with and then went back in time to save them, or like would you still choose that path even if it would screw up fate? Like would you try to save them?
Why not? You never really know what the heck is going. Like life is weird.
Yeah.
Someone was like, you should live your life as if this is your second time doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think that I feel like I would try to change fate. And I think she's doing that. There are some aspects of it that feel a little bit plain.
Yeah.
But it's not the colors, like it's
No.
not the art. It's all very beautiful. Honeybee is the author, so they do a good job with it. But there are things that like are lacking. And it's weird because I feel like I can't put my finger on it.
I know this is more drama, but I don't really like reading about high school.
It's
like,
a little bit of a love
relationships.
triangle.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. I think that's what frustrated me.
Yeah.
No way, the maturity is a little bit lower. I guess what's plain about this is, yes, it is drama, but are the characters developing?
Yeah.
In some ways, yes, they are, but in other ways, no, they're not.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't read forward, my hope for Haeyoung, because obviously she's still grieving, I was hoping that she would go back in time, she'd build a relationship with him, and then be able to move on, work through her grief and move on from that. So I haven't read, I'm not caught up, so I don't know if that's actually what happens. That's like my hope for the story, is that she learns how to grieve, she learns from her trauma, she learns how to move on, kind of thing.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like Jaeyeon. Because what happened was that he was involved with the bus crash. So was the bob hair's girl's mom. And,
I remember.
And why she hold a grudge against him was because she thought he was the one who caused her mom to die. Because what happened was that she covered her body to save him. I can
He felt
understand
survivor's
why.
guilt.
Yeah, survivor's
I
guilt.
can understand why she would also blame him too.
Yeah.
But then it makes me not like the character.
I think survivor's guilt is very real
Yeah.
for him. However, like, he's a kid. That's why I think I have a lot of sympathy for him.
Yeah.
He's not my favorite character, which I think I take it out on Haeyoung, because I'm like, Haeyoung, like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, literally, you should be mentally...
Like,
10
also,
years.
my thing is, like, how do you get back into the future? Are you going to have to relive all of this? I don't know. Like, a lot of things are changing now. Are they going to remember it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe that, because we lost sight of that, and I'm like, y'all just really were okay with living in the past. Like, what's going on in the future?
Yeah, that is really interesting. Characters don't really reference the future at all. Like, they're literally living in the past. So are they expecting just to live through it again?
Haeyoung, Eunjae, and the bus driver have regrets about the past.
They did, yeah.
And they're trying to fix them. Eunjae, I feel like he kind of did, but he also didn't have that big of a regret.
Yeah.
It was just with him and his
First,
girlfriend.
like,
Yeah.
first love,
And
right?
for me, I'm like, okay, get over it. Is that bad? I'm like, literally first love, like, okay. It was in the past. We don't talk about it anymore.
Haeyoung's situation definitely is, like...
But I'm like, I feel like my priority would be getting to my present self.
Yeah.
So, like, the people that I know now, my family doesn't mourn me. Like, am I going to die? Where am I in the future? And I feel like that is a really interesting portion. I mean, all the characters have, like, really interesting storylines. But because it was just left behind, I feel like that kind of made it kind of one-dimensional almost.
Plain rice. Plain
Yeah.
rice. Like, plain rice.
You're right.
Yeah. I just wasn't that connected to the characters. Like, invested in the characters themselves. I think I really liked where the plot was going. And I was more interested in how the future would go.
How that would
forward.
resolve.
Yeah, that's what I was interested in.
Because they're fixing the bus, they're not fixing... Anyway.
I don't know if you guys have read Honeybee's, like, other work. They also made Flow.
I don't think so.
I read Flow. It was
Yeah.
short, though.
It was-
I honestly don't remember it.
It was... I believe it was actually, like, in the 100 chapters.
Maybe I didn't.
Oh, wow.
There was moments in Flow, too, where I was just like, where the heck is this plot going? You could tell that Honeybee has, like, kind of developed, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way from, like...
As a storyteller?
As a storyteller, but at the same time, I feel that in Back to You, there's a lot of, like, where's this plot going, in a way.
Yeah. There's different preferences for everyone. Different, taste palettes. Do you just say palettes or taste? Anyway. Regardless. Yeah, I
Platters, I
this
guess,
isn't my
platters.
favorite entree. However, it is very good. I think if you enjoy, I guess, thinking about what you would do if you were to go back into the past, you're like, I don't know if that made it more enjoyable or less. An unrequited love might hit, a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I don't regret reading it. I think
Yeah.
it's been interesting. I'm excited for it to end just to know how they get back and what happens, because it gets into this like weird science multi-universe, right? Paradox of like what will happen now in the future.
Yeah.
But I am curious about it.
Yeah, how are things gonna change from now? Because they changed the past.
And back to you. Any last words?
I'm excited for the finale.
Yeah.
I'll have to actually like catch up and read because I only covered the first
I have to say, I feel like I think I preferred the storyline of Flo.
Really? Yeah.
More. Yeah.
My last words are if you like Back to You, definitely check out Honeybee's other work, Flow. It's on Webtoon as well. On to our
Dessert, I guess.
On to our dessert.
Yum. Yum, yum.
Okay.
All right, so it's time for dessert. Dessert is Your Throne. Wow. Well, hopefully you guys like fantasy because your throne is on the table. Tensions are brewing under the seemingly calm surface of the Vasilios Empire, and we're watching the beautiful, clever, and strong Lady Medea Salone lose her place next to the crown prince, Eros. And now she's trying to win back what is rightfully hers. Perhaps the throne. Okay, so it has 1.5 million subscribers, and yeah, it has strong female protagonists, really clever character design, and stunning art.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like really top tier.
Yeah, it definitely is in terms of like art, characters. You think it's going in one direction, but then you're like, nope, and it like just pulls you back into a completely different direction.
It's good. It's good. Okay, so there are a lot of main characters, actually. But you start off with really only 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Medea Salone, and we might also say Medea. Medea Salone is the main character. And I think it's interesting because all the characters have like a color attached to them.
Yeah.
And she's purple. I feel like that's such a good color. And later on, anyway, she's an icon. She kind of scares me a little, but I think that's why I'm so into her. Sorry if I stutter. Clearly, she makes me a little nervous. Anyway, okay, so it's Medea Salone, and then opposite of her, more or less, is Soonkki. Yeah. So it's kind of like the like that meme where it's like you're an emo goth, and then your best friend is a golden retriever. It's kind of like that. Soonkki is a golden retriever. There's Eros, who's the crown prince. He's her villain. Perion and Healy, who are other 2 dudes. I would say this one, it kind of is about the ladies, though, right? I feel like it's about them.
Yeah. The guys are like the side characters.
Yeah, it really is a story about strong female protagonists. They're finding themselves while also finding each other.
Yeah.
So
the story is not what you would expect it to be. Because initially I was like, I've read this.
like,
where it's like one girl
story.
Versus another.
Revenge story.
Not
you think
into
it's a
it.
revenge story going in, but it's not. It's really not.
The characters all have, like, they're really in depth. They're really well written characters. I think that's what's so different, which kind of why it makes Your Throne one of the top tier stories on Webtoon. It doesn't matter what character is your favorite because you're bound to have like a good time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The character development.
Unless it's Eros.
Yeah, unless if it's Eros.
We're about to fight.
But yeah, the author definitely has planned this story very meticulously. Much later, you see references back to early on.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been really planned out. And I just want to talk about Medea and Soonkki. So again, you mentioned their colors, which I think is interesting because purple and yellow are like complementary.
Oh, really?
Not complementary.
They're opposites.
They're opposites, yeah. If you look at like the color wheel they're like opposites.
Maybe that was intentional.
Wheel. Probably is, but they are definitely complete opposites. So in the beginning, Soonkki was definitely not my favorite character.
She was kind of annoying.
She was annoying.
Seemed like a ditz.
She was very like
Too naive.
Very like like I don't know.
Maybe when I first read it, I didn't like Soonkki, but rereading it, I was... Well, right now, Soonkki, I think is my favorite girl out of the whole series.
She's a good girl.
Yeah. I think I like her more than Medea. I think it's only because of her character growth.
Yeah.
I'm really invested.
Really good, she has really good character
because
growth.
she was like in a freaking basement for most of her life, which is crazy.
You start seeing her circumstances. You start seeing, she's literally being taken advantage of. I remember in the beginning chapter, she didn't even know how to read. It was almost like she was just made just to be controlled.
Yeah. What I really thought when you really see how Eros thought of her is, remember when Medea was in Soonkki's body and she was reading like a very, I guess, like a more intellectual book, and Eros caught her and she was just like, "You're reading this? Next time I'll bring you a picture book to enjoy."
Yeah.
And it's just like, he must have thought of her as a child.
Yeah, clearly we really like the female characters in this story. I do think that it's kind of confusing. A lot happens. It's very action-packed.
Yeah, there's a lot of information in the first.
Like, I feel like if I had heard that, I would have been like, what? Like, body changes? Body swap? What's going on?
And then the family dynamics, the family drama.
Yeah, no one has it easy.
Yeah, it's like every single character is going going something.
Except for Eros.
Except for Eros.
Garbage.
That's what I want to know, right?
But
I don't want to know. I don't care.
It hasn't come up yet,
It hasn't
though.
come up yet. I know, like, the author doesn't really have a reason to give it, but at the same time, I'm like, this dude is such a psychopath. Like, why? Why is he? Why is he like
born
this?
that way.
Was he really just born that way, or is there really some meaning behind his scum?
Yeah.
Let's say like the author did give Eros a sob story, I think I'll still hate him.
I'd still hate him too, but right now he's just like the big bad guy, kind of like the Fire Lord in Avatar.
Fire Lord.
He's just evil. Like, there really isn't that much else to him.
Yeah.
Even if they kind of just disregard that he doesn't really have like a quote unquote backstory, his character development still not development, but I guess his character
He gets
his
scarier.
position. Yeah,
He has layers.
Yeah, he still has layers.
Scary
He
layers.
still has layers.
Okay, I want to discuss how Medea turned around the divination. So she was told, I don't even remember what she was told. Oh, yeah. She was told that she was going to kill the Duke, who is her father, and destroy the Empire. She was losing the people that worked for her. Basically, no one trusted her. No one wanted to associate with her, which takes a lot of power from them. And
not only that, but like the mental strain too.
Yeah. So these are two characters that were made to basically serve and help the male characters in the story. And she's like, how can I use this to help? And it's crazy because so her dad is evil and does like very evil business. And her brother found that out and left. So she has trauma from her brother leaving her.
But she didn't necessarily.
Which like, I'm kind of into the relationship dynamic of Medea and Healy. I feel like she's got issues, like daddy issues or something, brother issues too. But I want to know more.
We figure out that Medea. We figure out that when she's young, she like experiences this trauma. Not only is her father very abusive, her brother left, but she didn't necessarily understand the reasons.
She felt abandoned.
Yeah, she felt abandoned. So she didn't understand the reasons for that happening. But then as she gets older, she understands why her brother left. Obviously, they were working together, you know, to put her father in jail and for him to be like, you know, bye-bye. But like, it didn't ever resolve the relationship between
Her and her brother?
Her and her brother. It really did not resolve.
We just kind of went past it.
Wasn't there an episode where she was getting really angry at him?
Valid.
And then he could see how her father was turning, like, manipulating or changing her into, like, a worser person. And the brother was just like, I'm still gonna leave. Right?
Yeah.
After seeing, like, how she's, like, been slowly changing into this more
How she was different
ruthless.
from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was more willing to, like,
be
do
more
those
ruthless,
things.
yeah.
She's an adept tactician. I think that is actually also what makes the story so different. It's a lot of times you get storylines where it's like the main character is so smart. But this one, it's like, no, they're actually so smart. The author will throw you in for a loop and you'll be like, I just got mind fucked. Not only by the character, but by the storyline. And a lot of times it's like, yeah, I mean, they're smart, but like average. Like I could do that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really always thoroughly impressed by like the plan. Like I never understand what's going on and like how, and then I see it happen. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to play a game. So this is who is most likely. And we're going to play with the 5 characters.
Okay.
So Healy, Psyche, Medea, Perion, and Eros.
Yes.
First one is who is most likely to get away with murder.
Medea, 100%.
I feel like... Okay,
but Eros too.
yeah.
But Eros,
Well, like with Eros, people know, but
They can't do anything.
they can't do anything.
Yeah,
like
with,
he's
like-
able to just manipulate the people around him.
That's true.
Remember Eros just stabbed a man in front of everyone? Everyone's just like, yeah, Eros, I love you, man. I'm just like,
Bro, Perion took his own eye out. I'm sorry. What? Who does that? I was not expecting that at all. I was like,
but they also
that's
mad at him
permanent.
too.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't intend that.
No, and she was just like, what's wrong with this man? Why is she taking out his eyes?
Okay, next question. All these characters are vacationing. Okay. Who is most likely? They're vacationing together. So they're in a group. Who is most likely to leave the group to go flirting? Pick up a stranger. Okay.
Oh, I feel like Perion.
I think Perion would.
Yeah.
I feel like he's really charming because everyone likes him. Even Medea.
Eros.
That's why Medea teamed up with him because he's so likable.
I think Eros too, but Eros is more like, I can use this person.
I don't think Eros is likable. I feel like he's so used to having power and being listened to and being heard that he wouldn't be charming.
He's likable because of his status. Everyone's like, well, why wouldn't you like the crown prince kind of thing?
But they do think he's a good person though.
But like, he's not. Would he go out and flirt with others?
Oh, like willingly, just
Willingly,
out of the blue.
no. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay, last question. Who is most likely to be in a reality TV show?
Oh my goodness.
I think it's Psyche or Healy. I feel like I could see them both.
I can remember Psyche in like a romance, like the you know, Eternal Inferno, the Korean dating show.
Oh,
I can imagine Psyche on a dating show.
That's so funny. Yeah. I was imagining Healy in like a baking show, and I think it would be funny.
I guess what reality TV show would you each put them in?
That's a good question.
Like, what would you put Eros in? You know,
Too Hot to Handle. Perion would be on... Well, he's very religious. So I think he would be in some sort of, like, religious reality show. I don't know which one.
That one on Netflix about, like, the Jewish family who was, like, trying to get away from Like,
What's
you don't,
that?
you don't know which one of died. You don't know.
No.
I'm pretty sure there's a reality TV show on Netflix.
No, Perion wouldn't be in a reality TV show because he's too busy at a youth church camp.
Oh my god, yeah.
Medea.
I want to see on a survival show. Have you seen that one show where they're off into the wilderness for like 3 months during the winter? I want to see Medea survive in the winter.
I think she could.
I want to see her do it.
I feel like she would do a good job in that. I feel like Soonkki reality show. I think she would be like a interior design.
Oh yeah.
She'd be like, I'm here to organize your kitchen. Yay! That's what I would imagine her as.
Who are your guys' favorite character out of, if you had to choose one, who would you choose? Your favorite?
It's hard.
Yeah, that was really hard.
I think 4 out of these 5 are pretty likable. I feel like the one I'm most excited to learn about though is Healy. I feel like he's got a lot of stuff going on, and he's not actually that frequent of a character.
That's interesting because I feel that way about Perion. We know him, but we don't really know him, and he is so likable.
Also, he has a power. So Soonkki also has a power. They're both like kind of OP in their own ways.
Yeah. Can we do like just a hate session on Eros?
Yeah, let's do a hate session on Eros.
I just hate him so much. I hope he like steps in poo, and he steps in poo. He slips on poo, and then everyone sees him. And I hope they all throw rotten tomatoes at him.
I stepped in poo once. That's what I'm thinking about. It's kind of bad.
It is. It stinks and it lingers on your shoes.
Bro, I stepped in poo before going to school. And girls in my neighborhood watched me. They were laughing. They were laughing at me, and I was like, "Is this bullying?" But they didn't tell me anything. So I got on the bus, and then I noticed like the dog poop, and so I like scraped it off my shoe. And we had a different bus in the afternoon because it smelled so bad, bro.
No!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It was also one of the girls' dogs' poo. So I was like,
salty.
"You never clean up your dog's poo, bro. Like, I know you." Anyway, he would be deserving of that.
As the story progresses, you just see how he's not right up here. You know, like he doesn't think he's so narcissistic.
But his father seems
He tries to kill his father.
I know, but like, I just don't understand why he's.
Why is he
so
so
evil?
Yeah, so evil. That's like what I was saying before.
What is he after? Like, what does he want?
He just wants to be king. He just wants to be like a god.
Yeah.
He called himself a god. He wants to be a god.
And the fact that he tried to steal
Soonkki's power.
Yeah.
That's why, right? He wants to be a god.
If he doesn't like anyone, he could just end them without anyone knowing.
Yeah, it's true. Which is, I think, why Medea got so scared, because she was like, "Oh, he's actually in love with me.
Yeah.
What do you do?" It's kind of like
But he doesn't know
Never-Ending
that he's in love
Darling.
with her, yeah.
It's like, I think these villains are really evil and they're like good villains, but they also have a messed up relationship with love,
Yeah.
where they love the main character and yet they only cause the main character suffering.
How he views Medea, he's just like, "Oh, I love your brains and stuff, but just revere me as higher than you. I'm just a higher position. Don't think of anything else."
If we had to chart, so you know, like the chaotic neutral, chaotic good.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like Eros is chaotic evil.
Yeah, for sure.
Perion he's chaotic good. He stabbed out his eye.
Yeah.
I just can't. It like doesn't seem like something he would do, and yet he did it. Yeah. Medea is like neutral evil, because I feel like she can do evil things, but like
Yeah.
she does them for good, which kind of neutralizes it. But
Yeah, neutral evil.
Soonkki is like the good.
She's a cinnamon roll. I feel like Healy is kind of a cinnamon roll, but he'll do some bad shit.
Chaotic good.
Chaotic good. Eros is chaotic evil.
Yeah.
Soonkki is lawful good.
Yes.
I feel like Healy might hit true neutral as a character.
Medea. One more.
What is she?
Like neutral evil or something.
Yeah, neutral evil. Would you guys change any of those?
No.
I think that matches it pretty well. But there's so much character development in the story. Not only is there so much character development, but there's also shifting storylines that we're seeing involving all these characters. So it's a very well-rounded, well-shaped story overall.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
I like to binge this one. I'll be like, I won't read it for a couple weeks so I can read them all. I think a lot of these characters I feel like are polars of each other. And even Healy, like we haven't really gone into Healy or Eros, but they're opposing colors.
Oh,
One's
really?
black, one's white.
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
both in love with the same character. I'm sure there's bound to be more there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then who's Perion's opposite?
opposite.
Well, he doesn't
character?
really have an opposite, I don't think. He's someone with powers. His color is red.
Yeah.
Psyche is someone with powers. Her color is yellow. They're kind of related.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually wondering, so if we were get a new character, which I don't think we are, because I feel
Yeah.
like there are a lot of main characters in the
It'd
story.
be green.
Well,
I'm only saying green just because Perion doesn't really have a direct opposite yet.
he does though. I mean, not as a character, but the priest. Like, he has his own arch nemesis. And that's the thing. So his eye can detect good or evil intentions. So he knew Eros is bad, and that's why he was okay with teaming up with Medea, despite everything everyone's saying about her.
Yeah, you're right.
And he can see that, and he was like, let me stab my other eye out. I don't know why he did that. I'm sorry, I can't get over it. I'm like, who does that? But yeah, the priest is evil. He knows he's evil. I feel like the people at the church, that's why they're trying to ruin his reputation. Take away his power.
You're right.
Because he's so charming. He gets a lot of his power from his
Gets a lot of support.
Yeah, because he's a good guy.
So I was just reading, and you know how you realize that the church is evil because the head church is evil? I'm just like, of course it is.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Like, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's always people in power that just abuse it. You know, you can trust nobody.
If we're giving it a theme, again, we were talking about like strong female characters.
You're right.
But also abuses of power. Because you see the power structure in many different ways is just so corrupt. Not only the power structure in Medea's family with her dad, but the power structure with the church and the power structures with Eros. This is gonna hurt so.
Dude.
Same with Neverending Darling. All these, they hit.
Power structure.
Who do you dislike more, Eros or Medea's dad? They're like both equally like terrible people.
Yeah.
If they were
Maybe Eros, because he has so much power.
Yeah.
Oh, that you dislike more than Medea's dad?
Yeah, because Medea's dad was a dick, but at the end of the day, like, he created Medea.
And like she already dealt with that. He's gone.
And I mean, she's kind of a beast. That rating we were doing last time, Medea is like a 9 out of 10. And the 1 is because she scares the absolute shit out of me. Where I'm like, I'm into it, but also I'm scared.
Yeah, I feel like she'll step on me, and I don't want to be stepped on like that. I want, like, if I were to date with somebody,
It's not where I thought I was going. Like I like that.
like I feel like Psyche would nurture me, right? She'd be like, I baked you some goodies. She'd be like, yeah, give me some goodies. Or be like,
Okay, who would you date out of all these characters?
oh my god, I want to say Helios because I'm just like, I love when someone obsesses with me. You know, I was gonna say. You know, everything that I want, I'm like, yes, give it to me. But like, Psyche, I think Psyche or Healy. Eros, no. Medea, no. I think even Perion, I just like how he looks. I don't know about his personality much.
Okay.
I think Medea would help me with my financial things, get my life straight. But then,
I think she would roast you. I don't think she would be that much of a help.
yeah,
I think she'd be like, oh, you don't know how to do this? I have books. You can borrow them.
I think
Let me go manage, like, my mansion. Bye.
I'll be afraid of being like manipulative. You know,
She's a meme where it's like, mommy. She's that one. I feel like she's the mommy character.
no.
She is though. She's a boss ass bitch.
I don't want to. No, I hate the mommy daddy king.
It's not a mommy daddy king, but it's like she's taking care of everyone.
Oh yeah.
And they
I
don't
agree
even
with
know.
that.
They don't even know how they connect. Like, I feel like most of the time they don't know the plan, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll do this because she told us to," and then it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing though, because initially you're like, she's kind of mean. She doesn't care about anyone. Yeah. But then you realize she actually does, and she cares a lot. That's why she's so willing to put her life on the line to save others
Right.
at her own expense.
I can't see her with a lover though.
I want the best for Helios.
That's why I would do too. That's why I'm just like, Helios, I know you're like in love with Medea, but then you know Medea doesn't feel the same way. Or she
I feel like she doesn't allow herself to.
That's true,
the
too.
thing. Especially with all the trauma that she's experienced. She definitely is in that situation where she's like, I'm dealing with all of this, not this.
Oh, okay. On this story though, so it's called Your Throne. Do we think she has the capacity to get the throne?
Oh yeah, I feel
But like how? How does that even work? How could they? Because the church is bad, and at this point they're kind of in a place where like church and state are connected. Yeah. And Eros is also bad.
yeah. If they do dispose of Eros, how would the power shift to Medea?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I guess unless like because essentially Psyche is going to marry Eros.
That's true.
So if they marry, let's say
They're gonna get married. Psyche and Eros.
And then
then kill off Eros and Psyche is
queen, and maybe she hires because then the dad dies too, and so she hires Medea. It's like, but I feel like Medea doesn't want to be an advisor. She wants to be
gay queens. Sorry, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like she wants to be like the head thing. I just wonder how they're gonna like do
How that shift happens. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Love this dessert. Your throne.
Your throne.
We are introducing today a new segment called a la carte. Or is it a la carte? I don't know. A la carte. But basically where we just kind of discuss webtoons that we're currently reading that we want people to know about. So, do you want to start, Cash?
You can start, May.
Okay. My a la carte today is called The Legendary Fossil. I think it was originally on Tappy Tunes and it was recently brought over to Webtoon. Fortunately, it does have a daily pass, which kind of sucks, but there are illegal websites out there. But The Legendary Fossil is great for today's discussion just because we talked about strong female protagonists in all of our series. And then I think there's a lot of parallel with Your Throne and The Legendary Fossil.
Okay, I'm like, let me look it up right now.
So Legendary Fossil is about a girl. She's transported into basically a fantasy world after dying. And it's interesting because she's like destined to defeat like the demon lord or the demon king in a faraway kingdom. So you think the story is going to be all about her adventure to defeat this demon king, but it's not. The story starts out and she's already defeated she's already done that. She's already done that. So it's like
that's kind of crazy.
Strong female protagonist and you have that power structure a little bit. It's a lot more lighthearted. If you like Your Throne, I feel like you would like The Legendary Fossil. Medea's father is kind of that intense figure in Medea's life. She has that internal family power structure as well with her sister, with her older sister. So that's my a la carte for today.
Wow. I like your a la carte. I think I want to check that out. We'll talk later about illegal websites. Onion.
My turn? Okay. My a la carte is after school lessons for unripe apples. And it's just about these two characters. And it's just this middle school life. And it's so funny. It's so funny. There's no description that does this webtoon justice. Season one is like officially finished, and then the author is taking a break, and then he's gonna start the season 2.
Okay,
but I highly recommend. You guys won't regret. It is funny. It is cute. You can relate to the characters. The characters have like depth to them, which I find is really important. The art is really cute. How characters interact with each other is really cute. Recommend.
If you were to compare it to a different webtoon that gives you like similar vibes, what would that be? Which one would that be? Or is it just like so unique that you're like, no.
It's just so unique.
Okay.
It's just
okay.
It's so good.
Good to
you guys
know.
have to just try. I think it's only 55 chapters. It is 55 chapters.
I was not expecting the art style. I looked it up and I was like,
it's so good. Like,
well, just because of the title. Is the title the same in Korean?
Oh, I don't know. I can try. Get me back on that.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, unripe apples. I like middle school. I don't know. It wouldn't have clicked, but it makes sense. It makes sense. So for my a la carte, I have one, and I found Muted, which I think I had, but I had never read it, and I noticed that it was complete. So I like to binge webtoons. So I look for webtoons that I can binge. And it's really good. I like binged it, and it has a lot of episodes. So let me see. It has seasons too. So 3 seasons, 125 episodes. And it's about a witch, and basically she is about to have like her witch ceremony. Okay. So she's really nervous about it, but apparently she's really strong. So you're not really sure why she's nervous about it. And then she attempts the ceremony and something unexpected happens. She's also performing the ceremony at the same time as her cousin, who is her like weird cousin sister because this girl is like an orphan. So it's like sad background, but it's supernatural. So obviously she's a witch and you know she's a witch. Later on you meet kind of different sorts of witches and they have different powers. It's pretty neat. It makes me think about what kind of witch I would be. And it's interesting because at this point it also has like a power play, like kind of how like the theme we've been talking about of there's a hierarchy in the witch world.
Power dynamics.
And for her ceremony she's supposed to reach into a different dimension, but she reached into the wrong one and maybe open doors to, you know, some bad spirits. It's pretty cool.
Sounds interesting.
It's also complete and no coins, so you can like binge this whole thing, which iconic.
Definitely going to check it out. I love Supernatural.
Yeah, the art style is cool too. It's very colorful.
Awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed our a la carte today. Thank you all for tuning in for another episode of The Heated Table. We discussed quite a bit today and it got pretty heated, I would say.
If you've enjoyed this episode of The Heated Table, please like and subscribe. Keep watching, read it, comment. I would love to know what people's thoughts are, who they would date, who the most evil guy is actually out of the villain. Is it Eros or is it
The never-ending darling.
Yeah.
who's more evil? Because both of them are very much okay with killing people. Okay, yeah, on to next time. See you next time. Bye.
Dear listeners, thank you for listening to the second episode of The Heated Table. Feel free to follow us on our journey by checking us out on social media at The Heated Table. We hope to see you there. This episode was facilitated by Cash, edited by Ami, May, Onion, and Cash. Intro animation was done by May. Our theme song was produced by Joom on Spotify. All webtoons discussed in this episode are available on the Webtoon app, downloadable on the Apple and Google Play stores. Thanks for listening. See you soon!